It is so early. Hi, welcome back to my channel. I would normally do a video intro like this at nighttime, but I thought of it last night and today is literally the best day for me to do it. So welcome to Before I Leave for Work. Today I am going to be starting the book The Shadows Between Us. It is a book that came out today. I bought the audiobook, so I have the order all ready to go, and I'm really excited about this book. I know for a fact that there is a girl who is trying to woo this king, and she's basically trying to make sure that he doesn't die and trying to keep him alive. But the twist is she's doing this so that she can kill him when she wants to. I'm really excited about this. I don't know anything beyond that. I mean, it came out today, so there's not many reviews or ratings on it, but the audiobook is 10 hours long, so it's not going to take me long to listen to, and I thought I'd bring you along with me. My plan is to listen on the way to work, as much at work as I can, although I'm not sure I'll be able to do a ton. On my way home to the library, and then home, and then as much as I can this afternoon. So I'm thinking this audiobook might take me 2 days. If I marathon it, it'll take me 1. If it's not going so well, it might take me 3. I'm in my car now, and I wanted to say something really quickly to you guys before I left. I last night had a dream about this book because I'm getting so excited about the idea of it, and that makes me really nervous because no book can ever live up to your high expectations. So like, I should calm down and stop getting so excited because this book probably isn't going to be that good, right? Please let me eat those words later. Please let this be the best book I've ever listened to. Hey, so it's end of day, February 25th, and unfortunately I didn't manage to read much of my audiobook. We ended up having 2 family emergencies today, so my plans were a little bit put aside, and then the time I did have for reading, I forgot that I wanted to finish Middle Game, which I still have 3 pages left. I'm hoping to get that done tonight after my shower, but anyways, I did manage to listen to 2 hours of the audiobook, so I'm 20% through. I'm really hoping I can get another 30 minutes done tonight, and that'll put me 25% through, and I'd feel really satisfied with doing that. So far in the book, I don't have a ton to say. It's definitely different from what I thought it was going to be. It's been a few hours since I listened to it, so I can't remember the main girl's name, but she annoys the crap out of me. I cannot stand her. She is so arrogant and frustrating. And honestly though, while she annoys me, it's kind of nice to have a female protagonist of a YA novel be someone different. Like, she enjoys doing like sexual stuff, and she enjoys sewing, and she also enjoys stabbing. So like, it's kind of nice to have someone different. And like I said, she's extremely arrogant. She thinks that she's the most beautiful woman ever. She gets really confused when other men aren't drawn to her sexuality, and so she can be really frustrating. The story is going a little bit differently than how I thought, but I don't think I'm going to say any comments on that until I really understand actually what's going on, because I don't totally know where the book is going. I'm interested. I don't think this is going to be anything higher than a 3.5 rating, honestly, at this point, but it still has the chance of getting really good, so we'll see. There has been a few heteronormative comments. There was definitely one homophobic comment, and there was one comment that was definitely homoerotic, so I don't know what to say on that front. I'm hoping that the book will make itself more clear as I continue on about what it thinks about different things. So far, I haven't noticed anything racially diverse, so I don't know what it's gonna do with that, but yeah, it seems everyone's just your average white people. Hi, it's extremely rainy out, so there's like no natural lighting for me to work with today, so I'm sorry if this video's lighting is a bit weird, but it is what it is. I made it to 65% done with The Shadows Between Us. I was going to read more, but I couldn't check in with you guys, so I stopped, but here I am to check in with you guys. I'm not sure if I'll be able to finish the book tonight or not, but I'm definitely planning on finishing it tomorrow, so good news. How is the book going? So there's this weird like subplot that's the reverse of Robin Hood, not in the sense of like someone is robbing the poor and giving to the rich, but in the sense of like someone is robbing from the rich and giving to the poor, but we're seeing it from like the royalties' perspective instead of poor people's perspective. So that's kind of interesting, although I really don't seem to care that much about that part of the story. I'm at the part now where we think we know who the bandit is, although I am pretty sure that we don't actually know, and that the hood is going to actually cause a lot more problems than it hasn't, or than it has. So that's where I stand with that. There hasn't been a ton of romance in this book, honestly, and there hasn't been a lot of, I thought there was going to be a lot more attempts on the king's life, but honestly there's been one that we've seen and like one or two that we've heard about from before the book started. The summary of the book made it sound like the main girl, Alessandra, that's her name, I remembered it, was going to be like saving him left and right so that she could in fact kill him, and that's not what's happening. She so far didn't save him once, but she kind of like protected him, and so that did help him, but he would have lived either way, I believe. Maybe he wouldn't have. She is definitely manipulative, and she is working as best she can to try to get things how she wants. It's interesting to watch her. She has like her hands in lots of different people's stories and how she's like working them to get her goal. So that part's really interesting. I don't believe that she is as great as she thinks she is though, so I'm kind of in the mindset that most of her plans are going to fail. She's had one so far that failed, but it was like a really short plan and nothing big was a part of it, and I'm wondering if that's going to be foreshadowing to future plans failing. I am enjoying the book more now than I was at the beginning, so that's really good, but I still don't think I would rate this more than 3.5 stars where I'm at, and honestly even that seems a little bit high. Do you think that the narrator is taking a little bit of my interest out of it? The way the voice actor is speaking makes all of the characters sound whiny, and I think she's doing it on purpose because Alessandra is like a really whiny character, but I wonder if I had read it first physically and I'd put my own tone of voice to the character, if I wouldn't have disliked her as much. There have been a few instances where something has happened and I obviously see what another YA female protagonist would have done, and then she does the opposite, and it kind of makes me happy. So I'm forgiving her a little bit, although I still don't like her and I'm still kind of sick and tired of her. Final thing before I go really quickly, there is a lot of men in this book. Like honestly not hundreds and hundreds, but there's a lot of men, and I'm at the point where I'm getting some of them a little bit confused, so that might affect some of my opinions because I'm not totally sure who is who when it comes to the men. There's really only 3 main women, and then we hear about Alessandra's sister every once in a while, and then we hear about the dead queen every once in a while. There are other women, but they don't seem to have a big role in the book. I'm really hoping that Alessandra's sister has some kind of manipulation. Right now she seems to be this kind of like dumb, I don't want to say dumb blonde, but like she seems to just kind of go with whatever her father wants her. She seems to be like the stereotypical woman who at that time period like just went along with what men wanted her to be and what men wanted her to do. And I'm really hoping, because we know that Alessandra hates her, and so far we've been kind of told that it's because she's her dad's favorite. The sister is her dad's favorite, but I'm really hoping there was a letter between the two of them, and I'm hoping that that is a sign that the sister is actually really manipulative too. And if that were the case, I think this book would definitely move up in stars for me. I also am fully ready for a betrayal to happen, but I'm not sure right now which character I want the betrayal to happen from more. I have only, I believe it's like 3.5 hours left. I am listening on ×2 speed, so I'm gonna get that done as quickly as possible, and I'll check back in with you guys for the final check-in. I finished the book today. I only had 3 hours left when I woke up this morning, and I managed to finish up on ×2 speed at work this afternoon, so I did not get to video my like first final conclusions, but I came home, had some lunch, wrote a Goodreads review, and now I'm coming to you guys. The end did not surprise me in any way at all. It felt very predictable. I'm not going to go into exact plot points because I don't want to spoil it for you in case you're the kind of person who can't necessarily predict what's going to happen in books. There really wasn't a big twist. There wasn't a twist with any of the characters. Nothing shocked me. And the very end of the book also did not shock me. Like there's a twist kind of 90% through where you figure out who done it, and then there's a twist in the last chapter where you think the book is going to go one way and then all of a sudden it goes a different way, and I saw that coming as well. So that kind of made me bummed. Some of the characters who I was hoping would do something more didn't. They stayed very flat and one-dimensional and didn't add anything to the story. The prediction that I made that came true seemed so obvious that I was convinced that I was wrong and that the author was just making it seem like that was the case, like this was what was going to happen, and she was going to try to make me predict that this was going to happen, and then all of a sudden it was going to be something different. And if she had done that, I definitely would have been really, really impressed, but she did not, and I wasn't pleasantly surprised by the ending. So that means that I did end up rating the book 3.25 out of 5 stars. I just felt like it wasn't bad enough to be 3 stars, but it really didn't redeem itself enough to be 3.5 stars. I try to avoid doing 0.25 stars or 0.75 stars, but every once in a while a book comes along that just deserves it, and this was one of those books. So I'll give it where it's due. The romance could have been done a little bit better. I get that it was like friends to lovers. The entire time it didn't really feel like they had built this friendship beforehand and that it was really just lovers to lovers who called themselves friends originally. I felt like the plot, like I said, was predictable. I won't beat a dead horse on that note. I felt like a lot of the characters were flat, and I felt like that came from the fact that the book was rather short. It was only 10 hours on audio, so I don't know how many pages that made it, but overall that's really not a long book. So maybe if she had written another 100 pages, I definitely think there was content there that she could have written more about. Without spoiling anything, there were 2 scenes in particular that I wish she would have fleshed out more. There was a scene where Alessandra was collecting ingredients for her to poison the king after they'd gotten married, and it was 1 sentence long. It was literally like Alessandra collected the ingredients that she needed and kept them in her room. And I wish that we would have seen her interaction with the person who she was collecting the ingredients from, especially because that might have been a way to throw off the scent of some characters or others, or maybe to put like a little bit of guilt onto her instead. I just think that would have been done really, really well. I'm not going to talk about the other scene that I felt like could have been flushed out more because I think that will get too close into the spoilery realm. So just know that there are a few scenes I think that she could have flushed the scenes out more, and then with that could have given more depth to the characters, and from that it would have made the manipulation from Alessandra and some of the other characters and the twists and turns, she would have been able to build them in with like another layer of twistiness that would have actually possibly shocked me. Some of the pros, I definitely thought that Alessandra was super, super annoying, but I'm putting this in the pro column because she was such a different protagonist. I've already talked about this, so I'm not gonna harp on it too much. I definitely think that if the author wrote this kind of a character a few years down the line, I wouldn't be annoyed with her. Like if she had matured a little bit more and was more in touch with other people's emotions, or maybe how other people think, I definitely would have been on board for her. But she was so self-centered. Something else I really enjoyed about the book is that it's a standalone book. It is not part of a series, and that is so rare. It's becoming more common, but it is so rare that it was just a blessing. I also felt like the writing wasn't bad. Like I said, I wanted there to be more of it, so that's like a good sign, right? I hate when I read a book and I feel like there was too much writing and it could have been knocked down a lot. That's it. Yeah, I'm finished with The Shadows Between Us. I'm glad I gave it a shot. I'm glad I got to vlog and talk to you guys about the book while I was reading it because this has been enjoyable. Let me know if you've read this book or if you have plans to read this book. I know it came out 2 days ago as of me filming this last video to you, so yeah, many of you probably haven't read it yet, but if you have, let me know what you thought, and maybe we can have a nice spoilery chat somewhere where, you know, the unspoiled people want to talk. That definitely wasn't a word. That's it for me today. I don't really remember how my outro goes, so until then, I'll talk to you guys in the comments. Bye.